Why do some businesses find their path to success easier than others? Today I'm talking about how to build a brand with potential and what you can do within your own business to set yourself up for success as well. I'm Lydia and I own 2 small businesses. I've also spent the past 10 years working in marketing for international brands as part of global agencies. And this is the business of bondage. This is a channel where I give an honest behind-the-scenes look at my sex-positive startups and how my decade of marketing experience comes into play as I continue to build my own businesses. I find there are 2 main ways that businesses come to be. The first is a person or people find a passion for a project, find it trades well locally, and they want to make it their full-time income and therefore a scalable business. The second way, and the way that many entrepreneurs, and in my case marketers, will tell you paves the path to success, is to intentionally find a problem and solve it. Now, from a strategy perspective, the second way is technically better, but I find if you don't have a passion for the subject matter, your drive may wane as your business demands more of your time and energy, and success may feel further out of reach as a result. In marketing speak, we call this building a brand with purpose. A purpose resonates with the consumer. It's the reason for you existing beyond making money. A purpose aligns your brand with your ideal customer's needs, and it's how you make a lasting impact. Marty Neuemeier, a well-known industry brand strategist, says, brands with purpose do better and matter more. He even has a book titled this, and I highly recommend reading it. Now, I'm going to preface the content from here by saying whether you're scaling a passion project or intentionally solving a problem, building any business is not easy. It takes a lot of your time and your energy to drive it forward, but by solving a problem you're passionate about, it can make the journey feel a little less arduous. Now, I run 2 businesses, Kilter and Voluptuous Events. The second, newer business was built of insights gained from building the first brand. Kilter is a luxury leather BDSM brand. Now, when I was shopping for products in this category, I realised that all the products, regardless of price point, followed the same aesthetic, and that wasn't something that felt like me. So I developed my own solution, and I thought, well, if I feel this way, other people must too. And it turns out that tens of thousands of people do actually agree with me and understood why I felt the need to take a new approach and bring a new set of products to the market. Now, I started marketing this business 6 months before it launched, 4 months before I even had samples to show. But in doing this, I was able to tell the story of who I was, what I was doing, and allow time to build trust with my audience and for people to join me on this journey. And the people who found me at this stage have turned into the most loyal followers. They bought from me at pre-orders, they continue to purchase my products, and some are now even my most loyal product testers because I value their opinion and I want to know that whatever I introduce next meets a customer need. Unless you've been living under a rock, you may be aware that as a society we don't necessarily talk about sex, especially BDSM, so openly. I had an audience to create. But it was only when I started speaking so openly and observing people's reactions, especially the reactions of people who I knew, did I realise how abnormal it was for me to be doing so without reservation or without shame. And that's what baffled me, because sex is an intrinsic part of us as humans. If nobody had had it, would have died out thousands of years ago. But generally speaking, people's aversions to talking about it would make you think that nobody was having it at all. It's like wearing a bra with a strappy top. If you aren't familiar with this style or rule, it's something that I learned and many of my peers learned growing up, that you should wear a strapless bra with a strappy top so people can't see your bra straps, as if women wearing bras to hold up their boobs was some giant sodding secret. And this leads me on to the purpose of my second business. My girlfriend at the time were discussing how people found it so surprising to hear me talking about such a taboo subject on the internet to tens of thousands of strangers, which is admittedly something I never thought I would be doing. But the thing is, sex education in schools is pathetic. As adults, we repeat the relationship patterns we see as children, which shapes our view of what normal is. And nobody actually teaches us what a healthy relationship looks like, unless you had it modelled for you in childhood, in which case you're one of the lucky few. This leads to many ill-equipped adults fumbling through relationships, experiencing and creating horrendous situations that could have been avoided had we been equipped with the tools to do so. Eventually, and often with decades of experience dealing with other humans, do we actually learn communication, conflict resolution, and how to speak confidently about our desires so we feel fulfilled in relationships. She and I had both been to therapy following our previous difficult relationships and spoke often about how useful that was, how valuable that information was that we aren't otherwise taught. But therapy is so cost prohibitive. So we wanted to make accessing this information more accessible to create a space of learning and self-discovery. So we started hosting expert-led talks right here in Edinburgh, and they proved to be very popular. We got so many messages from people all over the UK asking for them to be hosted online, so that's what we're doing this year. You see, even by me explaining those stories to you, can you understand why both of those brands came to exist? And that is a core part of our marketing. So how do you get to this point? How do you identify a purpose that will align an audience with your brand? If you haven't started a business yet, I'd say live your life and keep an open mind. What problems do you encounter? Could you fix them if you could? Could you fix them better than anybody else? The right opportunity will find you. And if you've got a business already, go back and look at why you started. What are your mission, vision, and values? What problems do your customers have? Are you solving them better than anybody else out there? Do they have any improvements on your products that could better solve the problem for them? Align your values with action. Communicate your brand purpose to an audience you've already clearly identified. Successful businesses have a very detailed knowledge of who they're selling to. They market themselves as a solution to a problem they know their audience have, and retail that solution at a price point they know their audience are willing to pay for it. Now, I've told you 2 stories, and now you understand my brand purpose. That is the technique you need to be using when marketing any purpose-led brand. Then be consistent about it, because what gets repeated gets remembered. So don't worry about constantly retelling the same stories. The same people aren't always going to see your videos. In the next video, I'll be talking more about the strategy I take with marketing my own businesses and my clients' businesses too that have seen revenue increases of up to 60% as a result. If you're the sort of person who likes to be guided through anything or wants to read more about this sort of strategy in detail, I have worksheets on my site and ebooks too that guides you through everything that I will ever talk about. You will find those linked from my profile and in the video description. And thank you for bearing with me.